While we're talking tech, though, I got to mention more trouble for Tesla. One of the electric car maker's biggest investors, TRowePrice, has sold 81% of its shares over the course of this year. The company had shed its holdings over the first 3 months, to be more specific, of 2019, according to SEC filings. As of March 31st, the fund manager held 1.7 million shares of Tesla, down from the 8.9 million shares it held at the end of 2018. And guys, Tesla is down over 26% year to date. So that's probably playing a factor there in what we've seen out of Tesla. But is that a worrying sign when we talk about one of your largest investors getting rid of all of these shares?
Yeah, I would say so.
I was like, everyone knows how I feel about Tesla, so let's let Ian weigh in here.
So he, to me, is our generation's. I personally did Steve Jobs. He was someone you really believed in, that really put things in our hands in a consumer sense, that really changed how we do things. And he has done that with his car company. I think the fact is just the valuations are so ridiculously high that the reality of setting in, they said they have to refresh the S and the X. They're getting boring. We've seen them on the roads for a while. And then he kind of launched the 3, which was the wrong car. He should have done the mid-size Model Y. And then you've got the Audis and Porsches and VW groups that are all going to come in with such stiff competition. He's going to all of a sudden kind of come back to earth a little bit and be in the car business, not just the space business and other forms.
Yeah, I know. We also saw Evercore ISI analysts cut their price target as well yesterday. So that's another down note for Tesla. I mean, they've been having a rough go.
What are the up notes?
I guess the up
notes. I feel like that's a more interesting conversation. What are the up notes? Because all I feel like I ever hear from Tesla are down notes. All I see are red flags.
So let's also separate Wall Street investors from people and the people that buy the cars. Right. He is a cult of personality, and you buy a piece of Elon Musk when you buy that car, and I think he's still extremely popular to the public. And they weren't the first to market, but they are pretty much the Apple in this sense, and he really understands the intangibles, like when you push, it's called ludicrous mode. All these little touches in there, so the brand is extremely strong in that respect. And as long as he can fill the pipeline with the affordable cars and actually deliver, pun intended, on what he promised, I think there's a good shot. But it's just like he's got to just keep finding a way to maintain his cash, which seems to be the real trouble.
I feel like that's just such a huge if, though.
It's a big if.
That's a very big if, and I feel like if I was an investor, I would be worried by how large of an if that is.
It's a large if, sure.
Because we've seen a lot of issues when it comes to Tesla and when it comes to Elon Musk on those very points there. We don't actually know if we have a very firm answer on if they can do all of those things.
He sells a dream and continues to sell a dream.
You can't invest in a dream.
I'm not saying it's a stock to invest in, but I'm just saying that he does a great job in his P.T. Barnum way of making dreams realities in ways that, other cars were ugly. Remember, like, electric cars looked like it was a statement, like, oh, I use natural deodorant, and like
I drive a Leaf. I drive a Prius.
I drive a Leaf.
Exactly
right. He knew to make it cool and fast and all these things. So I root for him, but I would not invest.
And let's not forget, they still do have a lead. It does come down to a question of whether or not, on a valuation basis, which we're discussing here, if that holds up. But another positive, the chapter with the SEC behind him now for the time being, and we shall see if he maintains a clean Twitter feed.
I feel like we need to say really quickly, though, TRowePrice, even though they pulled out of Tesla, they did not pull out of the electric vehicle space. They're investing
That's a good point.
pretty heavily in some of the other competitors, some of his other competitors.
And what you're seeing in the brand space is like Rivian. People want to buy that platform. They call it the skateboard. That's what the car rides on. So if you're way behind now and all you have is a cool brand, but you don't have the billions to invest in this, you're going to say, hey, drive the brand you love, but on their skateboard. So Tesla, I think, has a trick up their sleeve if they needed to white label and subsidize, help other manufacturers. That could be something he tries.
Yeah, could hurt the brand, though, as we talk about Tesla being the hot thing.